NFL Wild Card Weekend. The highs, the lows. Who's going on to the next round and who's going home? All that's coming up next. Stay tuned. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another edition of Home to Work Vibes. I am your hostess with the mostest, Shelton Ponder II. Welcome to another edition. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. I know I did. Hopefully everybody had tremendous fun watching the NFL wildcard games. Before we get started, as always, if you are new, do subscribe. If you are returning, do like, comment, and share this video out. What if you're on social media? Do follow me, Twitter and Instagram at TonyGumble21. To all the teams that won, I'd like to say congratulations. To all the teams that lost, I'd like to say congratulations. We're about to get into this video right now. All right. The first game of the wild card, Colts versus the Texans. Colts beat the Texans. Yes, Colts beat the Texans Saturday, 21-7. Now, the Colts, they haven't been to the playoffs since the Colts haven't been in the playoffs since 2015. Since 2015, they haven't been to the playoffs. Now, here's the thing. The Colts are a real good team. The Colts are a very good team. Started off 1-5, ended up going to the wild card. Ended up going to the wild card. And pretty much just killing the Texans. These guys, these individuals, they aren't any pushover. And I know I keep saying that, but they aren't. They are not. they aren't. Now, one of the things that I like about them is their resiliency. They are resilient. They are extremely resilient. With that said, they come to Arrowhead Saturday afternoon at 3:15, and they play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. We'll get into that in a bit. The nightcap was Dallas and my Seahawks. Honestly, I would have liked to see my Seahawks go further. Seahawks, once again, dominant team. It was one of those It was a very dominant game. It was a low-scoring game, actually. My boy, Russell Wilson, love him to death. I love him and his wife together. I just love seeing that. Anyway, as I'm saying, Russell Wilson had a lot of good throws. Had a lot of good throws. Just when it seemed like their season was over, they scored a touchdown. I thought that was it. But Dallas has that speed. Has that young speed. You know, during the season, a lot of people were thinking, hey, you know, maybe Jason Garrett has reached the end. Jason Garrett looked at all those naysayers and said, you know what? Watch this. And he led his team to victory. The final score Saturday was 24-22. 24-22 in favor of the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson, 233 yards, 1 touchdown. Went 18-27 with 233 yards. That's amazing. That is an amazing game Saturday night. It's an amazing game Saturday night. Now, in the AFC, it's the Chiefs and the Colts. And I want to get this right. Let's see. All right. It's the Chiefs and the Colts Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, it's going to be the Cowboys and the Rams. Now, On yesterday's games, you had the Chargers and the Ravens. Chargers versus the Ravens yesterday, the early game. That game now, the Chargers had to fly cross country. Fly from LA to Baltimore. About a nice 5-hour flight. I was listening to the radio station. I was listening to the sports network, the sports radio network yesterday. They were saying how the cross country games and playing at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock in this case, at 1 o'clock on the East Coast, that's because the East Coast, they play at 1. On the West Coast, they're getting the game at 10 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, the Chargers came to Baltimore, where Baltimore had beat them in LA a couple of weeks prior. And they give them they gave them quite a game. It was low scoring at first. It's always low scoring the first and second quarter, but when the third quarter hits, hey, you know that you have to do something. You're either going to play your heart out, or it's just going to be a dismal game. In this case, the Chargers, wanted to get revenge on the Ravens, who beat them a couple of weeks prior. That's what the Chargers wanted to do. And they actually did it. The Chargers beat the Ravens 23-17. Phillip Rivers was astounding. Now, Lamar Jackson, he had a good game. 14-29, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns. Scored the last 2 touchdowns to bring the game close. But Phillip Rivers was saying, no, not going to do that. No, we're not losing to them again. We're not losing to the Ravens again. And they did it. Now, they have to go right back to the East Coast next week, because they have the Patriots next week. And they have to, once again, fly from LA to Boston. That's a transcontinental flight. Both of those flights are transcontinental, which means that's almost 8,000 miles right there. 2 from let's see, one from LA to Baltimore, that's 2 LA to Baltimore, that's 2,000 miles LA to Baltimore, 2,000 miles from Baltimore to LA, which is 4. Then I believe I don't know when they leave, but next Friday, let's say, it's going to be 2 from LA to Boston, and then 2 from Boston back to LA. That's going to be 8,000 miles right there. 8,000 miles that the Chargers have had to do in a week span. Let me tell you something. If your body isn't jet lagged after flying 8,000 miles, wow. In the span of 1 week, you're going to have to go from the West Coast to the East Coast, and then East Coast back to West Coast in 2 weeks, in 1 week. You win Sunday, you fly back to LA. Next Friday, LA back to Boston. LA to Boston. Talk about a lot of frequent flyer miles for those guys. We're on to the early evening game. The defending Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, versus the Bears. That once again was a low-scoring game. Now, 10 seconds left. Bears kicker Cody Parkey – 43-yard field goal to tie the game going to overtime. First attempt, Doug Peterson calls a timeout, nailed it straight through. Doug Peterson calls a timeout, ices the kicker, made the kicker think a little bit. All right, give it a couple of seconds, just give it a couple of seconds. Get your mind together, get your mind straight. Be able to, do it again. What happened between that 10 seconds and the next 10 seconds in Cody Parkey's mind? I have no idea. Easy chip shot. Ball is placed. Cody Parkey kicks it. Looks like it's going to go through. Angles it to the left. And boom. Hits off the upright. Hits off the crossbar. Bears lose 16-15. Golden Tate scored the only touchdown for the Eagles. And I honestly thought, to be honest with you, I honestly thought that it was the Bears that were going to face the Saints next week. That wasn't the case. Eagles beat the Bears 16-15. 16-15. Nick Foles, 266 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ooh, listen to those two. Wow. Anyway, sorry. Side comment to myself. What a heartbreaking game for the Bears. Heartbreaking game for the Bears. Everybody was saying, oh, this is the Bears year. This is the Bears year. 12-4. To lose in the wild card game like that. Wow. I don't know. I do not know. Wow, what a... And a lot of my Chicago friends were saying how Cody Parkey needs to be fired and needs to be released. There was this guy who went completely nuts on Cody Parkey, calling him all kinds of obscene names, and oh my goodness. And Cody Parkey, you know what? Cody Parkey accepted it. Cody Parkey accepted it. Cody Parkey accepted. He said, look, this one's on me. This one is on me. And he feels bad. He feels bad for, he feels bad. He feels bad. He really does. And Bears fans should not get down on Cody Parkey. They shouldn't. All in all, the Bears played some extremely good football games during the season. A lot of people are saying, oh, he should get a new foot and blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's not his fault. But let's not place so much blame on one person. Yeah, I know that everyone was excited about the Bears. Listen, I used to live in Illinois. I watched the Bears through the good times and the bad times. Was it easy to watch? Was it easy was it easy for me to see that? To hear that and see that? No. It's never easy. But what Bears fans have to do, and I've done, is accepted it and move on. Just think, you have a good defense. A defense that is stacked to the brim. You have an offense that is also stacked to the brim. And here you are worried about what a lone kicker does. Okay. He missed the field goal. And you all want to just run him through the ringer. There are other field goal players. There are so many other players who are field goal kickers that have missed field goals. And I understand that the game was on the line. I understand that the game was on the line. But at the same time, you have to accept it and move on. It's hard, I know. But as a football fan, you have to accept it and move on. You just do. Just do. Well, now the stage is set. Now the stage is set. You have the Colts versus the Chiefs, Saturday afternoon at 3:15. You have Cowboys and the Rams at 8:15 Eastern. You have the Chargers and the Patriots, 1 o'clock Eastern, Sunday. And you have the Eagles versus the Saints, Sunday afternoon at 4:40 Eastern. Now it's down to 4. Now it's down to 8. Now it's down to 8 teams. This is what it's all about. Let's see. You had round of 16. Now it's down to the round of 8. Now let's see here. You had the Colts versus the Titans. That's 2. You had the Seahawks versus the Cowboys. That's 4. Alright, so 8. Let's see, the Colts and the Chiefs, that's 2. Wow, now we're getting down to the final few games. This is the divisional. A week after that will be the championship.